Welcome to the series of teachings called Fire and Praise. I think it's a good idea if we start the series with some overview of what it's about. Praise, fire. Let's begin with fire. The fire is the fire of music, fire of passion, fire of the love of God, but the fire more specifically is an allusion to a Hasidic teacher who passed away only 40 years ago, 1984, here in Israel, Shmuel Eliyahu Taub, known by his initials as Imrei Esh. Shmuel Eliyahu, take the first two letters, they call it an acronym, you get the acronym Esh, fire. He was a Hasidic leader of a dynasty called Modzhitz, originating around Warsaw in Poland, time of interwar Poland. Very, very musical dynasty. Each rabbi would also be a composer, a tradition that continues down to this very day, when his grandson is the present grand rabbi of the Modzhitz dynasty, still composing music. Every year they compose the entire cycle of songs for the new year. I love his music, very melodic. In particular, there are songs that he would compose for the new year, Yamim Noraim, days of awe. During these days of awe, they have several, every year they record the same music. On the same word, they record different music rather. There's a prayer in the Musaf, Hamol al ma'asecha v'tismach b'ma'asecha. Have compassion over your creatures and rejoice in them. So they call these songs Hamol, have compassion. So it's like a certain genre of songs, and the Hamol songs are particularly beautiful, and the Hamol songs composed by the Imrei Esh are very, very, very melodic. He composed in his lifetime, I believe about 35 of them, or maybe 30. Every year a different one, a few years he didn't. When I first came to know this Hasidic group about 20 years or so ago, I really fell in love with these songs of the Imrei Esh. And by that point I'd already recorded my first two CDs of Breslov music. I said maybe one day I'll have the opportunity of recording more music. And so, at one point I felt I would like to record these Hamol songs. So, with the help of my friends in the Modzhitz dynasty, I obtained recordings, I got notes, I started to study them in depth, tried to figure out, well, what do we do with them? Originally I thought I'd just put them together to words on Shabbat. And then, like an interior voice said, do the Hallel. In other words, put these songs to the words of a liturgy that we recite on the three festivals, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, every new moon. Hallel, it's a psalms that go from 113 to 118. It's a special benediction of praise. They're called praise, they're supposed to be about praise, they're not all about praise because they're praise, but they're also calling out to God, they're also reaching out, so it really captures a range of feelings of the soul in the Hallel. Now this feeling put the Hamol to the Hallel, and so I started living the songs and feeling internally what would be right, and then slowly each song found its words, and so an entire new liturgy emerged. And so this album, and consequently the series of teachings, are called Praise and Fire. Praise is Hallel, fire is an allusion to the Imrei Esh. So the songs of the Imrei Esh put to the words of the Hallel. What the title doesn't tell us that these are all songs from the Hamol genre. If I had to go on a desert island and I had to take one piece of music with me, it would be Dietrich Fischer Dieskau's Lieder, Schubert Lieder. I love the genre of Lieder. It's clean, voice, piano. That's it. And so whenever I think of expressing myself in music, it comes in this genre of lieder. And so I sought out a pianist who would be able to accompany with the musical sensibility that speaks to me. And the music I listen to mostly is jazz, and primarily piano jazz. I also listen much to world music. Sensibility is obviously formed by classical music. And for many years I was seeking an accompanist to do a musical project with. Didn't really know what the project would be, but I knew it had to be a project. My friend Mark Werder introduced me to the music of Kenny Werner, and somehow one thing led to another, and we connected. Kenny, one of the greatest jazz pianists alive, Jewish by tradition, though not familiar with the kinds of sources that I listen to, but definitely with a deep feeling of universality, spirituality, himself a very spiritual person. Everyone knows his method of playing music spiritually. And so this came together as an occasion for expressing something new between the originality of the music of the Imrei Esh, the originality of putting that music to the songs, to the words of the Hallel, and the genius of effortless mastery of Kenny Werner, all coming together in what I personally think is magical. When you listen to these music, you listen to it for its musical quality, for its meditative quality, for its ritual quality, for its prayerful quality. It's music to listen to and to go deeper into, to use it in prayer as part of your spiritual life. Significantly, this music is composed around the Psalms. The Psalms are shared universally, not only with Jews. And there was a deep vision from the beginning that Kenny and I shared. You take this music, and you take something that's at the heart of Judaism, usually something that people don't have a sense outside, and you universalize it. So the approach, the style, is one of taking something profoundly, deeply Jewish, making it available to the bigger world. This is something that Kenny connected to. This is something that's deep in my heart, in my own interfaith work, and in other work. And so this is a musical expression of piety, longing for God, closeness to God, praise, appealing to beauty, and with masterful arrangements and improvisations of Kenny, creating something new that I believe will touch many hearts. The series of videos that we are releasing is meant to provide the listener with the opportunity to reflect, to meditate, to go deeper into the music. So the concept is very simple. I open by a presentation of each of the Psalms, finding some spiritual message in it. Then the music plays with the words in Hebrew and in English. So you're there facing that black screen, the white letters, you can really go deeply into the words. You can go to the music, you can go to the words. And we conclude with a second teaching, now a teaching of the Imrei Esh, not necessarily about the psalm, not even necessarily about music, but something to give a taste of who he was. As a spiritual being, he was a musician, but he was also a teacher. So we combine these two elements, the music, the teaching. And so we have this series that we hope will run through half a year of teachings, music, opportunities for growth, for learning, for listening, for meditating. It's a beautiful journey. It was a beautiful journey recording the music. It's been a beautiful journey recording these YouTube teachings. And it is my prayer that the Imrei Esh, the masters of this tradition, of other Hasidic traditions, the masters for whom music was a path of worshiping God, will be with those who listen to this series, touching their hearts, inspiring them, opening them up, and making this series and this music a meaningful component along the spiritual path. Thank you.